Knocking out reactions with Zay Tyson. Let's dive right in.
What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to the Zay's Reception channel where we react to other reaction that's already streaming. And for this episode, we could be tuning in to Flacco. It's something that Killer Mike didn't expose. I think it's Killer Mike. Yeah, it's Killer Mike didn't expose somebody for something, and the world is upset about it. So, without further ado, let's tune in and see exactly what Killer Mike did done this time.
Killer Mike pissed off a lot of people today based on some comments he made on his podcast. Now, he made these comments really emotional. Like, Killer Mike had tears falling from his eyes speaking about this situation. So it meant a lot to him. And a lot of what he says, he spoke it with conviction. But people are pissed off. They're calling for him to get canceled. The topic that Killer Mike was reacting to emotionally was actually the death of Cyrus Carmack
He looked like he lost a little weight. That's what old age do to you, unless he eating good. But hey, he done lost some weight.
Belton. That's the 14-year-old kid in South Carolina that was shot and killed by an Asian store owner. Now, the verdict came back and the Asian store owner got found not guilty. And a lot of people feel like this is a miscarriage of justice, and Killer Mike is really pissed off about it.
Tensions are high tonight in Columbia, South Carolina, following the shooting death of a 14-year-old boy who was falsely accused of shoplifting. The gas station owner, who has a history of confrontations with customers, has been charged with murder. CBS's Nicole Sganga reports the community is fed up with yet another senseless loss of life.
Mourners protested outside this convenience store in Columbia, South Carolina, to remember 14-year-old Cyrus Carmack Belton, who was shot and killed the
I had heard about this story, but I really didn't tune into it to see exactly what was going on. But I also heard, let's get into it. Enough talking.
night before by the store owner. Hours later, rioters broke in, smashing merchandise and toppling shelves, angry over the loss of another young black life.
As they
It's
should.
nothing but looting, just plain, pure looting. And what does that got to do with that 14-year-old?
According to the sheriff, on Sunday night, Belton took water bottles from a cooler before putting them back. The store's owner, 58-year-old Rick Chow, thought he was stealing. After they argued, Belton left and was chased down the street by Chow and his son. Then Chow observed what looked to be a firearm, pulled out his Glock, and fired one shot, hitting the 14-year-old in his back, piercing his heart. The boy's gun was found at the scene.
We believe he had a gun, but we don't believe he pointed at him, and that's the key to it.
Chow is now being held on one charge of murder. The sheriff says the store owner has a history of incidents involving customers, including a shooting in 2018, which was deemed self-defense and for which Chow was not charged.
The verdict came back. He was ultimately found not guilty. But honestly, nobody understands this decision. I don't understand the verdict. I listened to every single detail revolving this case. I don't understand it at all. How can somebody be a threat to
Y'all understand it. Y'all understand that it's all about skin color. It's all about skin color. It don't matter who come in and take out the Negro, as long as the Negro get taken out. That's why they haven't changed the system yet, and that's exactly why they're not trying to change the system, because it's always going to beat down the lesser man. And to the judicial system, the black man is the lesser man.
you when they are running full speed in the opposite direction? They're running away from you in the opposite direction with their complete back turned to you. How are they a threat to you?
And they have a problem with them riding and tearing up his stores. That a lot of people, I've been seeing that over the last few years since COVID, for real, about how they people tearing up stores and they rioting when stuff go on. But I can understand, all of it. Simple fact of the matter, people tired. They tired of the same old, and they tired of the white people getting away with killing us. They tired of other races getting away with killing us. We don't have a problem with ourselves killing ourselves, but black on black crime is a problem in the world. But it's more of other people killing us than it is of us killing ourselves. Don't let all us talk fool you. Go check out statistics for yourself and do your own research.
Only eyewitness to this situation was the man's son. His son was the only eyewitness. Newsflash, And I think Carmelo Anthony also learned the hard way. If you murder somebody and their friends are the only people who are the eyewitnesses, you're going to jail, bruh. Because those eyewitnesses are not coming and telling no impartial, neutral, objective understanding of what they witnessed. No, they are
Right.
telling whatever they need to tell to make sure you go to jail. In this case, if you murder somebody and the only eyewitness is your son, you're probably coming home. You know why? Because the son is going to say whatever needs to be said to make sure you come home. Because it's his word versus their word. And his word don't exist because he's dead.
And if he was my partner, would I look like coming to court and testifying, saying that, my partner was the problem? Nah, I'm not doing that. First of all, I'm not going anyway. But if I was, I would be on his side. I ain't his partner.
So the son came and said, oh, he pointed a gun at, very convenient. The kid was found with a gun. Yes, there's no proof he pointed a gun at anybody. His back was turned. They could have let him run. He didn't steal anything. He put the water bottles back.
That's why they riding right there. That's why they riding. And y'all can talk about riding all you want to, but back in the day when they first started doing all these peaceful marches, they doing all these peaceful marches. They did all those peaceful marches, but stuff didn't get changed. So Martin Luther King got killed, and they started rioting. They started going crazy. That's when but it was the peaceful marches that led up to everything changing. If it wasn't for the peaceful marches, Martin would have brought all the black people together. If it wasn't for Martin being killed, black people wouldn't have rioted the way they did. They damn sure weren't gonna change up the laws for us. But still, like they might have changed a few. A lot of them still the same.
So Killer,
and there's more than one part to a law. It's like everybody think, oh, black people was free. No, black people was free, but in every law, like when laws get signed in, it ain't just one law by itself. It's a law. It's like a paragraph of how that law is supposed to be under. It's how I put it, y'all. My word is messed up right now. They have everything underlined in a certain order, so that if you don't follow this order in a certain way, then they can still get you. If that makes sense. I mean, I've been smoking, so I've been smoking. It's rules to the laws, if that makes sense. Rules to the laws. That's the best way I can put it. Let's get it.
Mike, among with other people, are very upset about this. And Killer Mike, I think, is expressing the frustration that a lot of people in the black community feel. Because Killer Mike believes that we have now reached a point in our relationship with the Asian community to where he feels like it's too far gone and there's really no bridging the gap or turning back. Now, I don't necessarily agree with that message. I don't believe that the actions of this one Asian man speaks for an entire community of people. But I do understand that Killer.
I feel like, yeah, that's true. But I still feel like they need to make an example out of them so that the rest of the Asians will see. They need to make an example out of Chud so the rest of them white folks that's just like Chud can see.
Mike was emotional. I do understand that this really affected Killer Mike, much as it affected a lot of people in our community. So I don't think whatever Killer Mike is saying should be treated as literal. But Killer Mike did say a lot of truths as well. He did say a lot of facts. He did say a lot of things that reflects the current sentiment in our community.
I saw a black child, South Carolina, walked out of a store. When confronted, showed I don't have anything. Chased out of that store and shot in the back and killed by a population of people who, since immigrating to this country, have quietly built the number one or two, house incomes through having ownership of stores in our community. And nothing has changed. That man was let off the case, and it just gets difficult. It gets difficult because, man, we as a people If the world is not going to treat us differently, it starts to turn into, well, like your therapist would say, what can you control? Just yourself. Where's my accountability in this? And it's not enough to just hate the other person anymore. It's not enough to just hate the Asian store and burn them down and boycott them. And I do think all of that. I'm at a point now where I'm just like, enough.
Telling you. And if you go back and you open your books and you read, and you'll see certain history books in the library gonna tell you that Martin Luther King was getting fed up. Like certain interviews of the people that was around him gonna tell you Martin Luther King was getting fed up all that peaceful there. We gotta be peaceful everywhere. Nah, even when somebody missing head killing us, nah. There's a time and place for everything. And that's why he was leaning towards Malcolm. Malcolm's way of doing things, and Malcolm was leaning towards more towards the way of what Martin's doing, because you still need a balance. You need a balance of the both in order for it to work out. You need some YNs that's gonna be out there for the cause, that's gonna have some common sense behind what we're doing, and you need some. Hey, whoa! We're not doing all that today. Y'all go back over there with that. This is not going on over. We need that kind of. That's why it's a balance, y'all. We need that balance, and it's never been there. That's why they got rid of Malcolm and Martin, because they was getting too close to bringing everybody together. Do your homework.
We can't, y'all. Y'all don't us, and it's obvious. And we are put in a position by a bigger master to be taught not to each other.
When bad faith actors like Steven Crowder got a hold of this clip, and we're about to hear more of what Killer Mike has to say as he expound on his idea, but bad faith actors like Steven Crowder will hear the entirety of what Killer Mike has to say, and they would use this excuse to then call out Killer Mike for being racist, right? For being anti-Asians, right? For calling for a war. No, I don't think Killer Mike is calling for war.
You realize he doesn't have the ability to read crime statistics. And then the more you listen to him, you realize that he is intensely racist and effectively wrong about everything. His latest tirade is about Asians and how blacks and Asians can't get along, but it's the fault of the Asians. At a certain point, maybe Killer Mike can ask, is it me? Time for Claim Truth.
I think what Killer Mike is saying is a pretty simple concept to understand. He's saying, yeah, there's a pattern here. And the pattern is not even about the action itself, because the action is intolerable. And there's really no excusing some of the things we have witnessed. But as intolerable as the actual shootings and the actions are, what we are facing here is there is an inherent suspicion of black folks that are being passed down in these communities. The kid walks into the shop. He empties out his pockets. He left his backpack at the door. Hey, I don't have nothing. And that was not enough. The inherent suspicion of black folks, the inherent, they are out to get me, from Asians towards black people, Killer Mike is saying that pattern is making it almost impossible for these two communities to work together. In no way is Killer Mike saying that black people should be out here doing harm to Asian people. What Killer Mike is saying is they have an inherent suspicion of black folks. And we are sick and tired of being sick and tired. We're sick and tired of having to prove that we are not up to no good. We're sick and tired of having to prove that you don't have to be suspicious of us. And because we're sick and tired of having to prove ourselves and bridge the gap, we now have to exercise the same inherent suspicion. Because if we can't bridge the gap, if we can't unite against the common enemy, which is our oppressor, then we now have to look at you as if you are in bed with the oppressor, because this inherent suspicion got you out here hunting us down. Now, again, I think that's a pretty like common sense concept.
So you as the model minority always see us as beneath you. And yet you need us because you could never put a store in the master class's neighborhood.
Man, you get two people like Killer Mike and Charleston White together. Gotta put the egos to the side. All that bullshit. Charleston White trying to preach to the young niggas, and I forgot what podcast it was on. He got up and he was about to walk out, and came back or something like that. He was trying to tell them like, if they missed any part of their kids' life, that they failed them, and they weren't trying to hear that. They weren't trying to hear that at all. But he put his ego to the side. Killer Mike put their egos to the side. You know, they might come to a common ground and bring some black folk together. But we need more people ready to die about it.
And if we won't unite against them,
we won't unite for ourselves.
Yeah, but if we won't unite, I mean the Asians and black against the master class, then we can no longer fight y'all, because it's just not working. It's not working where you can hunt down a child and they let you get away with it 2 times in my lifetime. We should be finding you.
No. I believe in eye for eye,
what we should be doing. Not saying what we're gonna do.
Meaning the thought comes up.
I am aware of the Arab struggle and the Palestinian struggle because in my lifetime, I have seen
in modern day Martin turned Malcolm.
Men strap bombs to themselves to say you will pay this attention.
Pay attention.
And I'm telling this country, you're coming to point of crisis with a group of people who, right or wrong, we're here. We're part of the fabric. We have nowhere else to go. But if you're training groups of people to see us as beneath, if we're participating in that stereotype due to circumstance, this is what we know.
Hold on. Yo, Killer Mike got to slow down, man. As a black man, saying things like that have ramifications. I don't think y'all understood what he just said. Rewind that back, the last 20 or 30 seconds, rewind that back and listen to that again. He not talking about Asians. Rewind that back and listen to Asians. I don't think y'all understood what he just
participating in that stereotype wrong. We're here. We're part of the fabric. We have nowhere else to go. But if you're training groups of people to see us as beneath, if we're participating in that stereotype due to circumstance, this is what we know.
Hold on. Yo, Killer Mike got to slow down, man. As a black man, saying things like that have ramifications. I don't think y'all understood what he just said. Rewind that back, the last 20 or 30 seconds, rewind that back and listen to that again. He not talking about Asians. Rewind that back and listen to that again. I can even repeat what he just said because I understand the guidelines of this platform. That, I want to say, I disavow that. I don't think people strapping anything to themselves and committing the crimes they committed is okay. I think that's wrong. But I do understand the brother is emotional. The brother is angry. A 14-year-old black boy just lost his life and he didn't have to. Right?
Whoa.
What's that?
I just built a budgeting app in Base 44.
Guys.
And
can you think back to what you was doing on your 14th birthday? I couldn't tell you. It wasn't nothing special. But I also know that I made it to my 15th. And that was special. This little boy ain't gonna make the 15. All because of Chinese. And I understand exactly what Killer Mike's saying. In fact, I actually want to find this interview, podcast, or whatever he was on, and I want to listen to the whole thing because it sounds very logical to me. And if a lot of black people put their egos to the side, They know it's all true. But they part of the "it didn't happen to me" club. What happens when all of them start acting that way?
Reflect that anger. And I don't think right now an emotional brother saying those things should be treated as literal. All right. I think Killer Mike should be afforded the luxury of having to come back and actually give his sober minded take. But people like Steven bad faith actors, they see an emotional Killer Mike speaking candidly and freely while emotional, tears falling down from his eyes, and they take this opportunity to try to vilify him, right? To try to treat him like he's a monster. Now, Steven Crowder would then go back to like the 90s, where people in LA was boycotting, was burning down Asian businesses in protest of the Asian lady shooting and killing a 15-year-old girl. And they will use this as an example like, huh? Y'all want an eye for eye? Y'all don't like Asian people now, but y'all did this to them first. So, but clearly he does it out of context. When you put it into context, again, it's not okay, but it becomes at least more understandable. Black folks didn't just wake up one day and started burning down Asian businesses and started attacking Asian people. No, this was a protest. This was a cause and effect. This was people reacting to a 15-year-old girl losing her life.
They've become more westernized and American. Here's why they isolated themselves and siloed themselves. When you're living in South Central, you better be around a bunch of other Koreans because blacks aren't too friendly to you. A lot of hate crimes. Remember that? Here may be why.
Why are we the victims? I mean, my friends are good Christians. I mean, we've been through so much, and to go through this, I mean, everything 22 years down the drain.
Many Koreans who yesterday were the shopkeepers of South Central Los Angeles today have lost the businesses they took years to create.
No one can have their own thing, according to the black leaders in these communities, except for black people. They can have
I do not feel any kind of empathy, sympathy, none of that for them. What happened to all these black communities that they burned down and flooded? You go on half these lakes in America, and it was old black thirst. I said thirsty, Lord. Flourishing companies, all black owned. So they can miss me with all of that yabba dabba they got coming out their mouth. They ain't talking about a damn thing.
their own thing.
That guy had a point, though. I mean, Five Guys is pretty expensive. I think we should burn it down.
Yeah, there you go.
No, wait.
I get it. I get
allegedly.
it. They don't respect because they don't. Well, hey, they're poor at this point, so they're probably living in the areas where a lot of black Americans are. They want nothing to do with you. They wanted nothing to do with you in Los Angeles. Why? Well, check the crime rates. Even though Asians were poor, you didn't see the same violent crime rates. Guarantee you they raised their kids. They said, stay away from these areas. Don't wear red, don't wear blue, just stay neutral. I get it. You don't? It's for the same reason that you claim you fear white people, right? You guys say that?
And see, it ain't just black gangs. It's white gangs. It's Puerto Ricans, Mexicans. Every race had their own type of gang. So that whole rhetoric of black people, and you got to check in with black people, and don't wear certain colors. You are white. You ain't got too much to worry about anyway.
Even though we know it's not true, but just use that premise for your argument. Claim number 4 from Killer Mike, that blacks should now be finding Asians, is that I noticed the pandering from people, because I don't think Killer Mike is a stupid person, but he panders to people as though they are stupid. He assumes that, I guess he's assuming black people don't understand the concept of.
No, he ain't assuming nothing. He's telling black people, look, if we going eye for eye, you kill one of us, every one of you we see, we bring force upon them until y'all decide to leave us alone. Y'all be scared to walk in the same building as us like we are when we come around and there's too many of y'all. I was with my family had to go to the crowd the other day. Well, nothing but white people around. Everybody staring at us like we a tough. Like, why y'all gotta stare, first of all? That's the crazy thing about it. One black person in the room, everybody staring. White person come in, everybody highly jolly, helping them out and all kinds of stuff. But let a black person come to a white event, everybody gonna be grabbing their purses and all kinds of stuff. Like that's the stuff to make you uncomfortable. Then to see you getting shot, we already been getting shot for years, half a century, by police, random white people and everything, and just getting away. Y'all just been getting away with it. Y'all's kind. They've been getting away with it. Emmett Till, just getting away with it. So to see the Chinese are starting to do it, and the system pretty much gave him a way out. Like there was no way out the first time. There was no way out the second time. He's a business owner. He could have just called the police. But no, him and his son run down those 14-year-old boy and shoots him. All over water bottle that they thought he stole that he had put back. He should have been out of there. They should have locked his ass up.
Of work.
It's good his business don't go there. And every business, if he try to start any other business in that city,
let me explain. When he says hunt, you could go out and you could just hunt a black child. Do you know
run him out the city?
The amount of work that goes into hunting?
If chasing a
I ain't gonna say too much more than that, but have your way with him. It should have been done by now. That kind would have did it for the white people. Sure would have did it to us. Look how they running so hard for Chud and his little homie, his little posse.
14-year-old out the store, running after him and shooting him in the back isn't hunting. Then what is hunting? I'm just uncomfortable with how I feel like they're trying to misrepresent Killer Mike's words, because I don't think Killer Mike got a hateful bone in his body. I think he was frustrated. I think he was angry. I think he was emotional. But y'all let me know in the comment section, what do you guys think about this one? Do y'all understand what Killer Mike is trying to say? Is the backlash warranted? Let me know, okay? If you're still watching this video and you want to watch it.
Yeah, for real. I think what Killer Mike said, for the most part, Killer Mike, he's angry. Like you said, he's emotional, but what he said is 100% true. He might, that's always going to be a thought in the back of his head. Even if he come back tomorrow and apologize and all that other stuff, that's still going to be a thought in the back of his head. Like, what if we fight fire with fire? Because that's all we was taught anyway. And they showing us, let's fight fire with fire. We keep trying to fight fire with water. We watering shit down. No, we stick together. It's going to be casualties of war. That's how it is. But, it don't have to be that way if they just change the system. If something get done to us, they shouldn't be able to just slide and get off with it. It's happening. It's getting to be a pattern. If you like this video, like my boy Flacco said, comment down below what you would like to see next. I'll do my best to try to find what you're looking for, find the type of data that's out there in the algorithm, and bring the most interesting news to you with the least bias. You've been knocking reactions out with Big Zach. Till next time, y'all.
If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like, subscribe, and notification bell so you won't miss any.